Hello, hello, hello. This is Gresh from the iamceo podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have David Karandish of Capacity. David, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Super excited to have you on. And before we jumped in, I want to read a little bit more about David so you can hear about all the awesome things that he's doing. And David is the founder and CEO of Capacity, an enterprise artificial intelligence SaaS company headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri. Capacity's secure AI native support automation platform helps teams to do their best work. Prior to starting Capacity, David was the CEO of Answers Corp, and he and his business partner, Chris Sims, started the parent company of Answers in 2006 and sold it to a private equity firm in 2014 for north of $900 million. David sits on the board of Varsity Tutors, an on-demand, real-time learning platform in the edtech space, Create a Loop, a computer science education nonprofit tackling the digital divide by teaching kids to code, and Prepare.ai, a nonprofit providing educational resources and strategic guidance about artificial intelligence to individuals, communities, and companies. David lives in St. Louis with his wife, Erin, and 4 kids. And when not working, he enjoys spending time with his family playing ukulele. David, are you ready to speak to the iamceo community?
Let's do it.
Let's do it then. So to kind of kick everything off, I know I read your bio. I wanted to hear a little bit more on what I call your CEO story. We'll let you get started with your business.
Yeah, so we started Capacity in January of 2017. And the whole genesis of the company was that I saw the convergence of a bunch of different factors happening. We had the rise of artificial intelligence, where I think that the Christmas before, the top item sold wasn't a phone or a laptop or some kind of video game. It was Amazon's Alexa. And so I had this thought, what if we could bring an Alexa-like experience into the workplace where you had a digital assistant of some sort that you could ask your question to, get an instant response back, and then go from there. Pretty quickly realized that we weren't quite ready to all start talking to our computers just yet. And so we launched our version of Capacity, initially focused in chat, where you could put Capacity on your customer-facing website, or you could put Capacity within your intranet or Slack or Microsoft Teams instance for your internal team. Our mission is to help teams go do their best work. And the way that we go about executing that mission is that we want to automate the support function of your organization. So that means answering as many questions as we can, automating as many tasks as possible, and then creating a seamless experience for any of the human work in the middle.
Nice. I absolutely, love and appreciate that, especially the vision that you have, but also understanding, because I think, and you definitely correct me if you find the same experience, that timing has a lot to do with executing on something. So you also want to have that vision, but you also want to understand what will have the legs so that people can take to it, and then you can start to transition from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the hard parts about being in cutting edge technology is getting the timing right. So I'm a very, very, very bullish on VR as an example, long term. Mm-hmm. But I don't think VR in the short term, outside of gaming, is going to have a very big impact over the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. Conversely, people have been talking about AI for years and years and years. And right about the time that we got involved, the market was starting to tip, where this is no longer some theoretical type of software that is used to help people beat Street Fighter. This is like applicable technology that you can go apply to the way that you work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes people don't realize how they're already using AI, as you mentioned, smart speakers in ways like that, and Siri and things like that are already incorporated into their lives. So having it and taking it a step further and being able to have it so that people can get the answers and whatever they're asking for, as you mentioned and said so well.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And so I wanted to hear a little bit more on how you serve the clients. I know you talked a little bit about it. Could you drill down a little bit deeper and let us know how you serve your clients, how exactly it works for those businesses and organizations?
Yeah, so I think the folks at Greylock put out a pretty interesting diagram of how the modern tech stack works. So the way that they would come describe it is that you have 3 layers. You've got your system of record. So think of that like your CRM, your help desk, cloud drive, your ERP, all of these big databases in the sky. All these companies have moved their their on-premise and their legacy systems of record to the cloud, and lots of big companies and vendors have popped up for each of those. However, people realize that these systems of record are really terrible systems of engagement. These databases are great for storing data, but they're not great for accessing it. So if you've got the system of record layer at the bottom, up at the top, you've got the system of engagement layer where you've got websites, mobile apps, and now increasingly conversational experiences that are providing that engagement layer on top of that system of record. Now, newer to the stack, I would argue in the last 5 to 10 years, is the middle layer of what they would call the system of intelligence. So think of that as the platform that sits between your system of engagement and your system of record to help you access information across your stack. So you think about something like an onboarding experience. You might need to pull a document from your cloud drive. You might need to schedule a meeting on your calendar, and you might need to, say, file a ticket with your help desk, all within one process. So if you've got your system of record, system of engagement, system of intelligence in the middle. If we map that framework back to what we're doing at Capacity, maps very well to our 3 major product lines. We have our AI-powered bot, connects to your knowledge base. Think of that as your system of engagement. You can ask it however many questions you'd like. We get currently around an 84% match rate. So industry standard, we would put us up against any bot out there on the planet. On the other end, though, we also provide a system of record, both in terms of your help desk for managing the tickets and queue of work that your team has, as well as your cloud drive. So you can upload documents and actually ask questions into those documents and answer them. But in the middle layer, we have our workflows part of the platform. That's where we are automating the key processes that you do day in and day out. So knowledge base and chat at the top, help desk and cloud drive on the base, and then workflows in the middle. So that's what we end up providing to our clients, a full stack solution for automating your support.
Nice. I absolutely love that. And I've always looked at, and I don't know if you feel the exact same way, that, having that ability to automate those tasks, automate those things, questions that people are asking, or processes that you're going through, it allows you to be more present and to me, do the things that can't be automated as well. And you get to spend more time there, be more impactful and greater at that, because those things that don't necessarily need to be done on a regular basis are automated, and allows you to kind of build and grow and execute your company to a better level.
You think about how many times a day we get interrupted. It's just a constant stream of pings and texts and emails and taps on the shoulder and tickets. And it's funny. We kind of lump what we're doing under the help desk umbrella. But one of the things that's interesting about our approach is that, to my knowledge, we are the only help desk out there where we started with the bot and the automation, and then we added the help desk on top. Everyone else has started with the help desk, and then they tried to automate it. And so we are the first kind of bot first or automation first approach to building out a modern help desk software suite.
Nice. And do you feel that is like what I would call like your secret sauce? It could be for you personally as well too, but do you feel is that ability to have the AI as a foundation, have the technology as a foundation, and then find out ways in which to solve those problems, so to speak, as you mentioned, help desk or questions or knowledge base that you might have internal? Do you feel like having that foundation sets you apart?
Yeah, we believe that by starting with the AI, we have a competitive advantage because we don't need to conform to previous patterns of understanding of what you do if you didn't have an automation at the front of your help desk. And so, as an example, one of the first things that we built into the help desk was the ability to map the unanswered question back to the knowledge base itself. So the next time somebody asks that question, the AI has learned it. It's part of what's going forward. The other thing that we do is the training of the AI itself is intricately tied with the help desk, and so the two like talk with each other and go back and forth day in and day out.
Yeah, and that's huge. When I often reference this Wayne Gretzky quote where he says, "You don't skate to where the puck is; you skate to where the puck's gonna be." And as you were going through that, scenario, I'm thinking that as you answer something through a sport ticket, you're like, "Oh, we should add that to the knowledge base." But having that puck already there, so to speak, you've already skated there and created that solution. It allows you to again be more present and really solve the problems that need to be solved.
Yeah, the other thing that we've noticed is that there are a lot of point solutions in this space that do pieces try to solve pieces of the problem. There are ticketing providers, there are bots, there are cloud drives, there are document mining technology and intelligent document processing, there are workflow folks. We're the only platform that we know of that is combining them all into one cohesive, one-stop shop kind of experience. And so you don't have to use a different vendor for your bot than your help desk, or from your help desk to your live chat, or from your live chat to your developer platform, or your developer platform to your document mining. That's another key differentiator about how we work. At the same time, we also recognize that sometimes people are going to love the software that they have, and that's okay too. So if you like your help desk, we will wrap all of our software around it. If you have a live chat vendor that you really like, but you really want to use us for our workflows, we're happy to integrate. So we're both providing you with everything you need in one place, but also flexible enough to work with your existing vendors.
That's huge. And that word that you said, the integration, piece is so big, related to business, because I almost feel like businesses are not as much in silos in terms of like the way that processes and things are run, that you want to be able to pull from a knowledge base that pulls from different aspects of the business. So it's so important that they're integrated if you have existing tools, or if you need one tool that has everything all in one.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I wanted to switch gears a little bit, and I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO hack. So this could be like an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but what's something that makes you more effective and efficient?
I have two very seemingly boring but life transforming hacks that I'll throw out there. The first one is one I started just this year at the face of the pandemic. And that's an old ancient practice called walking. Every morning I get up, and the first thing I do is I go for a 3-mile walk. It's not a run. I'm not trying to race someone. I'm not trying to chase someone. I just taking the stillness of the morning. I use it as a time. I'll use about 30 minutes to kind of pray and walk as I go, and I'll use another 30 minutes to listen to a podcast or whatever whatever I'm interested in. It's just a great way of starting your day centered and focused on what you need to go do. I do recommend getting winter appropriate gear. So whether it's good boots or a nice set of gloves, or I have a little balaclava I wear on, which is great for the pandemic, but I also look like I'm trying to break into someone's house. So get the appropriate gear. But walking is definitely something that's transformed my last year. Also helped me get in shape as well. And then the other thing I try to do, while I work a lot of hours, I work nights, I work parts of the weekend, is I always try to take a 24-hour kind of email and work Sabbath. So from Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, if there's a fire, you can call me, but I'm not on Slack, I'm not on email, I'm not checking. I turn corrective messages off on my phone. And so it just gives me time to take a break, to spend time with my family, and to recharge. I can tell you that there's such a difference in my energy level doing that week in and week out from the few times I don't.
Nice. Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I don't know if you find that a lot of that is, because you're in a tech startup, and because I don't know if I want to use the word inundated, but you're connected to by so much technology that sometimes doing those I guess old school, tried and true methods of going out for a walk, but also just detaching and going away to recharge allows you that opportunity to really be more effective and efficient, but allows you to get away to come back even stronger and better.
Yeah, I think it's we're so distracted as a society that it's so important to be able to turn off the distraction, even for an hour. It goes a long way.
Yeah, so powerful. And I think it's something that you want to kind of incorporate as a habit as you do with the daily walks. And of course, making sure that you have the appropriate gear is greatly important. That's a hidden hack within a hack. So I appreciate that. And so now I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO nugget. And this could be a word of wisdom or a piece of advice. It could be related to AI or technology, or it might be something if you were to hop into a time machine, you would tell your younger business self.
Ooh, if I were going to jump in my DeLorean and go back in time and talk to my younger business self, I would tell myself that not to wait on prioritizing your health. We don't know how long we have on this planet. You could live to be 100. You could get hit by a car tomorrow. But prioritizing your health, it just pays dividends across your entire life, your relationships, your work, your own sense of self-being. Just don't let your health skimp, even as you're building your next great company.
Yeah, it's so powerful. The saying is, health is wealth. And I think so many times if we look at our bodies and our minds and, so many different aspects that add up into our health as, cars, and making sure that we're getting the maintenance, to make sure we're doing things on a regular basis, to make sure we're optimally built to, sustain the success that we're driving for, it helps out so much. But I think often with our goals, we can sometimes skip over that health aspect, and it doesn't help to be it to where you want to be and not have the health to definitely enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And so now I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on the show. So David, what does being a CEO mean to you?
Yeah, I think there are a few different things. I think being a CEO means I get an opportunity to lead a team toward achieving goals that they never thought possible, both personal goals and professional goals. I think it's one thing to be a leader in general. I think it's you have an opportunity for you to mentor folks and for folks to learn from you. But when you're a CEO, particularly of a fast-growing startup, you have an opportunity to rightly push people to new heights that they never thought they could get to. And you have to be careful with that power because you don't want them to burn out. And I'm certainly haven't figured everything out on that. But one of the things is I want people to work with us to look back, go out a few years and then look back on this time and say, wow, I can't believe we pulled it off. I can't believe we did this or we did that or we grew in this way or we built this thing. I never thought it was possible. One of the highest compliments I got recently was from a team member was doing one of our all hands, and he was talking about a project that he was on about, I don't know, maybe 18 months ago. And he said this particular project was so painful and so difficult and so challenging, but now he looks at it like it was one of the best experiences he's had in his professional career. I want that to be multiplied across the org. I think being a CEO means, the second thing, I think being a CEO means getting the big decisions right. You're not going to bat 1,000. You're not going to get every micro decision right. You got to be able, if you're going for 100% hit rate, then you're probably not taking enough risk. But you got to get the biggest decisions right. So deciding to go into the AI space, that's a big decision. It's not a decision you turn on or off in a single day. Decisions like that, you got to nail. And then lastly, being a CEO means taking accountability for the organization. So our organization is only as healthy as our least healthy person. Our organization, there was a quote, I don't remember who said it, but I love it. It's every organization is perfectly designed to get the results it's getting. And so taking accountability of that organization, making sure the organization is designed in a way to get the results that you need is so important.
Nice. Yeah, I absolutely love those, three aspects. And I'm a big sports fan. And I think that in sports, in football, they say, that you are who you are, what your record is. So a lot of times you can't get past that, whatever you're in, however you're performing, that's exactly what you are. And you have to take accountability for that to change that and make those efforts. But absolutely love, obviously, as you said, there's so many different decisions that you have to make on a daily basis. You're not going to get them all right. And if you are getting them all right, there's a good chance that you're probably not making making any decisions or really going against the grain, because that's what you have to do. But you have to really understand the ones that are most impactful, the one thing, so to speak, that really help things go to an entirely different level. And I think one of the most exciting things about, leading is, of course, being able to kind of see success yourself, but really getting to help and see team members appreciate that success, go through the difficulty, the grind, to really see something that's better. And sometimes maybe not even believe that it's possible, but you get to help to motivate them. And when it happens, that's one of the most, exciting and gratifying things. So I love those three aspects of what it means to you to be a CEO. And I think it hits home very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, David, truly appreciate that definition again. And I appreciate your time even more. What I wanted to do was pass you the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you can let our readers and listeners know. And of course, how best they can get hold of you and find out about all the awesome things you and your team are working on.
Yeah. So just to recap, we're building out the support automation platform. We can work with large multinational organizations all the way down to startups who just want to do better customer support on their websites. If you want to check us out, go to capacity.com. If you ever have any questions, email me, David@capacity.com. Happy to help.